Once upon a time, in a beautiful village in the heart of Africa, there lived a girl called Adaobi. She was a 22-year-old girl with a heart full of kindness and eyes that sparkled like the stars. Everyone in the village admired her beauty and her gentle spirit. Adaobi had a twin brother, Chidi, who was lost when they were babies. Their mother, Mama Nkechi, always told Adaobi that Chidi was taken away by a mysterious force. Adaobi missed her brother, even though she had no memories of him. She often dreamt of finding him and making their family whole again. One sunny afternoon, Adaobi went to fetch water. As she walked along the narrow path, she noticed a beautiful, colorful snake lying in the grass. Instead of feeling scared, she felt a strange sense of calm. The snake had big, bright eyes that seemed to look deep into her soul. "Hello, little snake," Adaobi said gently. "Are you lost too?" The snake did not move but continued to gaze at her. Adaobi felt an urge to pick it up, but she hesitated. She remembered the stories her grandmother told her about talking animals and magical creatures. "Maybe you can understand me," she whispered. "I wish you could tell me where my brother is." To her surprise, the snake nodded its head. Adaobi gasped. "Did you just nod?" she asked, her eyes wide with amazement. The snake nodded again. Adaobi's heart pounded with excitement. She decided to take the snake home, hoping it could somehow help her find Chidi. Carefully, she wrapped the snake in a cloth and carried it back to her village. When she arrived home, Mama Nkechi was waiting outside their hut. She saw the snake and screamed, "Adaobi, what are you doing with that snake? It could be dangerous." "Mama, I think this snake can understand me," Adaobi explained. "It even nodded when I talked about Chidi." Mama Nkechi's eyes filled with tears. "Adaobi, there is something I have never told you," she said, her voice trembling. "When you and Chidi were born, a strange old woman came to our village. She said one of you had a special gift and would turn into a snake to protect our family. We thought it was just a story, but soon after, Chidi disappeared." Adaobi stared at the snake, her mind racing. "Do you think, could this snake be Chidi?" she asked softly. Before Mama Nkechi could answer, the snake began to glow. Its scales shimmered like a rainbow, and a bright light filled with the air. Adaobi and her mother watched in awe as the snake slowly transformed into a young man. "Chidi!" Adaobi cried, tears streaming down her face. She ran to her brother and hugged him tightly. Chidi, now human again, hugged her back just as fearful. "I have missed you so much," he said, his voice shocked with emotions. "I have been watching over you all these years, waiting for the right time to reveal myself." Mama Nkechi joined the embrace, her heart overflowing with joy. "Our family is whole again," she whispered, feeling a peace she had not known in years. As the sun set over the village, Adaobi, Chidi, and Mama Nkechi sat together, sharing stories and dreams for the future. The village was abuzz with excitement and wonder at the miraculous reunion. But as the night deepened, a shadow passed over the moon. In the darkness, a pair of glowing eyes watched from the edge of the forest. The mysterious old woman who had foretold Chidi's fate was still out there, and she had her own plans for the twins. As the days went by, life in the village returned to normal, but for Adaobi and Chidi, everything had changed. They spent hours together, catching up on lost time. Chidi told Adaobi about the years he had spent in the forest, learning the ways of the animals and understanding his special gifts. One evening, while they were sitting the river, Chidi turned to Adaobi with serious expression. "Ada, there is something I need to tell you," he said. "The old woman would transform me into the snake. She's still out there and believes she has a plan for us." Adaobi's heart skipped a beat. "What do you mean, Chidi?" "She is powerful and she knows things about our family that we don't. I think she wanted to protect us, but also to prepare us for something important. We need to find her and understand what she wants." Adaobi noted, her resolve heartening. "Then we will find her together. We have to know the truth." The next morning, they told Mama Nkechi about their plan. She was worried but understood their need for. She gave them her blessings and packed food and supplies for their journey. Adaobi and Chidi set off into the forest, guided by Chidi's memories and a sense of destiny. They walked for days, crossing rivers and climbing hills, until they reached a part of the forest that felt different. The trees were taller and the air was thick with the scent of flowers and the sounds of birds. Suddenly, they saw a small bird hidden among the trees. An old woman, her hair as white as snow and her eyes as sharp as an eagle, stood at the doorway. She smiled when she saw them. "Welcome, Adaobi and Chidi," she said in a voice that was both gentle and powerful. "I've been waiting for you." "Who are you?" Adaobi asked, her voice trembling. "Why did you turn Chidi into a snake?" The old woman beckoned them inside. "Sit and I will tell you everything." They sat on the floor of the hut and the old woman began her tale. "I am Neka, the guardian of this forest and the keeper of ancient secrets. Many years ago, I saw a vision of two children who will have the power to bring balance to the world. When you were born, I knew you were the ones from my vision. But why did you separate us?" Chidi asked. "Why did you turn me into a snake?" "To protect you," Neka replied. "There were dark forces searching for you, forces that would have destroyed you both if they had known of your powers. By turning you into a snake, I hid you from them and gave you time to grow strong. Now it is time for you to fulfill your destiny." "What destiny?" Adaobi asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. Neka leaned closer, her eyes gleaming with intensity. "You and Chidi have the power to unite the human and animal worlds, to bring harmony where there has been conflict. But there are those who would try to stop you. You must be brave and wise, and you must trust each other." Adaobi and Chidi exchanged glances, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. They knew their journey was just beginning and the road ahead will be full of challenges. As they prepared to leave the hut, Neka gave them a small, intricately carved box. Inside this box is a map that will guide you to the places where you need to go and the people you need to meet. Use it wisely and remember, you are stronger together. With Neka's words echoing in their minds, Adaobi and Chidi set off once again, ready to face whatever the future held. Adaobi and Chidi carefully opened the intricately carved box. Inside, they found a piece of parchment folded into a neat square. Chidi unfolded it to reveal a map unlike any they have ever seen. It seemed to glow faintly with symbols and landmarks that shifted and changed as they looked at it. "This is incredible," Adaobi whispered. "But where do we start?" Chidi pointed to a symbol that looked like a giant tree. I think this is the first place we need to go. It's not far from here in the heart of the forest. With the map in and they began their journey deeper into the forest. The trees grew thicker and the air was filled with the songs of birds and the rustling of leaves. After several hours, they reached a clearing where a massive tree stood, its branches stretching high into the sky. As they approached the tree, they saw an old man sitting at its base. He was dressed in simple clothes, and his hair was as white as nacres. When he saw Adaobi and Chidi, he smiled warmly. "Welcome, children," he said. "I am Eze, the guardian of this forest. I've been expecting you. We are on a journey to understand our destiny," Adaobi explained. "Neka sent us." Eze noted, "I know. This tree holds the wisdom of the ages. To continue your journey, you must pass a test of courage and heart." "What must we do?" Chidi asked, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. Eze gestured to the tree. "Climb to the top and bring back a leaf from the highest branch. The climb will be difficult and you must rely on each other to succeed." Adaobi and Chidi looked at the tall tree, its trunk wide and its branches stretching high. They nodded to each other, determination in their eyes. "Let's do this together," Chidi said, offering his hand to Adaobi. With Chidi leading the way, they began to climb. The bark was rough against their hand, and the branches were high and far about. Adaobi slipped a few times, but Chidi was always there to catch her and help her find her footing. As they climbed higher, the branches became thinner and the wind stronger. Adaobi felt her heart pounding in her chest, but she refused to give up. Chidi encouraged her with every step, and together they reached the top. Adaobi carefully plucked a leaf from the highest branch. It glowed softly in her hand, warm to the touch. With the leaf in hand, they began their descent. The climb down was just as challenging, but they moved carefully and supported each other. When they finally reached the ground, Eze was waiting with a proud smile. "You have done well," he said. "You have proven your courage and your bond. This leaf will guide you to the next part of this journey." Adaobi handed the glowing leaf to Eze, who placed it in the box next to the map. The map glowed brightly and new symbols appeared, showing the way to their next destination. "Thank you, Eze," Chidi said. "We won't forget your guidance. Go with courage, children." Eze replied, "Your journey is far from over, but I believe in you." With renowned determination, Adaobi and Chidi continued their journey. They followed the man through dense forests, across rivers and over mountains, meeting guidance and facing challenges that tested their strength and their bond. One night, as they camped under the stars, Adaobi looked at her brother. "Do you think we can really unite the human and animal worlds?" Chidi smiled. "I believe we can. As long as we stick together and trust each other, nothing can stop us." But unknown to them, shadows were gathering. The dark forces Neka had warned them about were aware of their journey, and they were determined to prevent the twins from fulfilling their destiny. As the twins ventured deeper into the forest, the atmosphere grew tense. Adaobi and Chidi could sense that they were being watched. The air felt colder and strange whispers filled the night. Despite the fear, they pressed on, determined and fulfilled their destiny. One afternoon, they came upon a vast shimmering lake. According to the map, Their next task lay beneath its waters. They approached the lake's edge, where an old woman sat on a rock, her hair flowing like silver threads, her eyes sparkled with wisdom and mischief. "Welcome, Adobe and Chidi," she said, her voice like the rustling of leaves. "I am Olanna, the guardian of this lake. To proceed, you must retrieve the pearl of truth from the depths." Adobe and Chidi exchanged glances, then noted. "We are ready," Chidi said. Olanna smiled and raised her hand. The water parted, revealing a staircase made of shimmering, translucent steps. "Follow the path," she instructed, "but be wary. The lake will test your heart and minds." With a deep breath, the twins descended the stairs into the lake. The water felt cold and welcoming around them, and they found they could breathe easily. As they went deeper, the light dimmed and airy shapes moved in the shadow. "Stay close," Adoro whispered, grasping Chidi's hand. They walked through an underwater forest where fish with glowing scales swam past and plants danced in the current. Soon they reached a cavern filled with dazzling light. As its center lay a large pill, glowing with an inner light. "That must be the pearl of truth," Chidi said. As they approached, the water around them then began to swing violently. Figures emerged from the shadows, dark menacing shapes that blocked their path. The largest figure, a shadow creature with glowing red eyes, stepped forward. "Who dares to disturb the pearls of truth?" it hissed. "We are Adobe and Chidi," Adobe declared, her voice steady despite her fear. "We seek the pearl to fulfill our destiny." The creature laughed, a chilling sound. "To claim the pearl, you must face your deepest fears and speak the truth." The water around them transformed, and they found themselves in a dark, twisted version of the village. The houses were in ruins and the villagers were nowhere to be seen. In the center of the village, a dark figure resembling a twisted version of Chidi. "You failed us," the figure sneered. "You couldn't protect anyone." Chidi's eyes widened with fear and guilt. Adobe stepped forward, her heart aching for her brother. "This is not real," she said firmly. "You are brave and strong, Chidi. Together we can overcome anything." The figure turned to Adobe, transforming into a dark version of her. "You are weak," it whispered. "You cannot lead. You will fail." Adobe felt a surge of doubt, but she remembered Chidi's words. She looked into her dark counterpart's eyes. "I may have fears, but I am not alone. I have my brother and we are stronger together." The dark figures began to fade, their tones growing fainter. The village around them dissolved, and they were back in the cavern. The pearl of truth shone even brighter now, filling the space with warmth. "You have faced your fears and spoken the truth," the shadow creature said. "It's your voice now, calm and respectful. The pearl is yours." Chidi reached out and took the pearl. It felt warm in his eyes, and he sensed its power. The water began to rise gently, lifting them back to the surface. Olanna was waiting for them, her eyes filled with pride. "You have done well," she said. "The pearl of truth will guide you on your journey. Remember its light in times of darkness." They thanked Olanna and set off once more, and the pearl safely tugged away as night fell. They made camp by the lake, feeling a mix of relief and anticipation. But in the shadows, the dark forces continued to watch, their eyes glowing with malice. They whispered among themselves, plotting their next move. The journey was far from over, and the greatest challenges still lay ahead. Adobe and Chidi continued their journey, now with the pearl of truth and the map guiding them. Each step brought them clear to fulfill their destiny, but they knew the dark forces were still lurking, waiting for the right moment to strike. After days of traveling, dense forests and strategic mountains, they arrived at the final destinations marked on the map, a hidden valley surrounded by towering cliffs. At the center of the valley stood an ancient stone temple, its entrance guarded by two giant statues of mystical creatures. "This is it," Adaobi said, taking a deep breath. The end of her journey, Chidi noted, his grip tightening on the pearl of truth. It must be ready for anything. As they approached the temple, the ground shook and the statues came to life, blocking their path. "Who dares enter the temple of balance?" one of them boomed. "We are Adaobi and Chidi." Chidi replied boldly, "We seek to unite the human and animal worlds to bring harmony and balance." The statues examined them with glowing eyes. "To prove your word, you must restore balance within the temple. Only then will you be allowed to proceed." Adaobi and Chidi entered the temple, finding it filled with puzzles and challenges that tested their strength, intelligence, and bond. They worked together seamlessly, each drawing on their unique strengths and supporting each other through every trial. Finally, they reached the heart of the temple. A grand hall with a large, intricate mural depicting humans and animals living in harmony. At the center of the hall stood a pedestal with two indentations, one for the pearl of truth and one for the leaf from the giant tree. Adaobi placed the leaf in one indentation and Chidi placed the pearl in the other. The mural began to glow, and the entire temple shook as a beam of the light shot from the pedestal, filling the hall with a warm, radiant glow. A voice echoed through the temple, resonating with power and wisdom. "You have proven your word, Adaobi and Chidi. Your bond and courage have shown that unity and harmony are possible. The balance you seek will spread beyond this temple, healing the world." As the light faded, the temple doors opened, revealing the valley bathed in the golden light. The once storm skies were now clear, and the land seemed to hum with life and energy. The statues bowed to them. "You have succeeded. The balance is restored." Adaobi and Chidi stepped outside, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment and peace. The journey had changed them, making them stronger and more united than ever before. They returned to their village, where they were greeted with awe and joy. The villagers listened in rapt attention as Adaobi and Chidi encountered their journey and the lessons they had learned. The village soon became a place where humans and animals lived together in harmony, guided by the wisdom of the twins. The dark forces that had once threatened them vanished, unable to withstand the power of their unity and truth. The old woman Neka appeared one last time, her eyes twinkled with pride. "You have done well, my children," she said. "Your journey has brought not only balance to the world, but also a valuable lesson to all." Years passed and Adaobi and Chidi continued to lead their village with wisdom and compassion. Their story became a legend, teaching future generations the importance of unity, courage, and truth. The moral lesson of this story: the story of Adaobi and Chidi teaches us that true strength lies in unity and the bond we share with others. By facing challenges together, supporting each other, and speaking the truth, we can overcome any obstacle and bring harmony to our world. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell.